Life can be difficult for all of us. Life can be unfair. Life can be really tough. So the thing is, we cannot control everything in our life, but we can make life easier. And in today's video, I want to give you some tips and some different perspectives on how you can make your life easier so that you can enjoy life much more in the future. So let's get started. Welcome to today's video. My name is Steven and I help athletes and ambitious people become mentally strong and successful. So what are the steps actually that we can implement into our lives to make it easier? Number one is don't think you can control everything in life. That's an illusion. But I see so many people also in my praxis, and maybe also you are struggling in your life because you have the feeling you want to or you need to control everything in life. And it's simply impossible. And that's why it's so important that we accept that we cannot control everything in life. And that's a big game changer, a mental game changer. So let's have a look at a couple of examples. For example, if you are an athlete and of course, you are in a competitive environment. Maybe you have some opponents. Maybe you have some other competitors around you. And everyone wants to win and be on the podium. So what can you do now? The only thing that you can do is you have 100% influence on your performance, but actually more or less zero influence on the performance of the others. Unless you want to do some mental wars against your opponents, but that's a different story. What we can do is we have impact on our performance by, for example, getting ready on time, by doing a proper planning beforehand, by getting in shape, doing our training and everything else. And that's what you can influence, but you can't influence your opponents. So if he practices and trains maybe twice as much as you do, then it's pretty obvious and well possible that he's gonna be on the podium and not you. Another example, business world. Let's say you work in a company and you are struggling with someone around you. Maybe it's your boss and you don't get along with him. He's unfriendly, he's pushy, he's maybe even unfair. So can you change him and his behavior? Probably not. But what you can do is you can choose how you want to react to his behavior. So maybe you just want to reflect on him, or you say, okay, you know what? I think I'm gonna look for a different job. I'm gonna quit and go somewhere else. So we see we are not stuck unless we think we need to control everything and everyone, which is not possible. And as soon as we understand this and we have this shift in our mindset, then we see suddenly that we have actually so many opportunities. We have options and it's up to us. We have the steering wheel in our hand and we can decide what we can do up to a certain degree. And from there on, we can't control it anymore. And then we just have to accept it. And then either we accept it and we get along with it, or we quit. And that's up to you. The second point that makes life much easier is give your life a real sense. So don't chase materialism, money, fame, glory. I mean, that might bring you some happiness in the short term, let's say kind of happiness, but in the long run, probably gonna feel a little bit empty or some kind of empty. You will miss something. You will have a gap in your heart, a hole maybe even. So give your life a real sense. Ask yourself, what is it that I really love doing? What is it that makes my heart really jump? What is it that I love? What is it that I'm good at? What is it that I make a difference in? And what is it that I truly enjoy? So I would suggest take some time, sit down, take a pen and a piece of paper and then write down these questions and then take your time to answer them. If you want, you could even add something like, what is it that I could do for others, or for the world, or for nature, or something comparable, so that you don't only look for some things for yourself, but also what you could do for others and for the world. And this will fulfill you in the long run and will give you a real sense in life. Another thing I would recommend so that you make life easier and more enjoyable is spread love. And you could do this in a very easy manner. Why don't you ask yourself just once a day, who is it that I could maybe surprise today with a phone call, with a letter or a postcard? Or maybe it's just a question via WhatsApp. How are you doing? How is it going? How was your presentation yesterday? Why don't you go and visit your parents just as a surprise? I'm sure they're going to be super happy if you turn up. Or why don't you call your best friend and ask her or him to go out for dinner or spend some time maybe during a walk? Or why don't you call your best friend and see what she's up to tonight? Maybe you could go out for a drink. So it's about taking care of our loved ones, about the people around us. And it doesn't necessarily only have to be family and friends. It could also be your colleagues in the office. Ask your colleagues, how are you? How is it going? Did you have a nice weekend? I mean, these are little things, but they make a huge difference. If people have the feeling you are caring about them, you're thinking of them, they feel highly valuable, they feel respected, and this makes you incredibly likable. And this makes, of course, life much easier and so much more fun. Another thing that I would recommend is, at the end of the day, ask yourself, what is it that I can be grateful for? So do a gratitude exercise at the end of the day. Ask yourself, okay, what is it that I can be grateful for? Health, family, maybe your lovely spouse or your kids. Is it that you have a full fridge, roof over your head? Is it that you have enough money in the bank account? Is it your job that you love? Is it the game of golf or tennis that you had today? Is it a call maybe from your parents or a good friend? There are so many things actually in life, when we think about it, that we can be grateful for. Sometimes we just tend to forget them. And maybe even in the beginning, when you do this exercise, you find it rather difficult to find some good reasons you can be grateful for. But the more you do this exercise, the easier it's going to be, and the more things you will find for sure. And then see what happens actually with you in your life. And also check out what it does with your heart. I'm convinced it's going to have a positive impact on your inner feeling and your mindset. The longer you do this exercise, the bigger the impact is going to be. And last but not least, I would highly recommend spend more time in stillness, in silence. So spend time, quality time, me time with yourself. So what's that good for actually? It's important to stay in balance, especially maybe when you have a rather stressy life with business, with family, with hobbies, and some other things that you need to do in your daily life. It's pretty simple that we get a little bit overwhelmed by everything, or maybe even by the people around us. And because of that, it's even more important that we spend some time on a daily basis, ideally, even if it's just half an hour or 1 hour, that's just for you. Ideally, I would recommend do this in the morning or maybe in the evenings. Most of the time, that's the easiest to do. Maybe when the family is still sleeping, or when they are already sleeping in the evenings, and you have just some time for yourself. And then maybe you would like to meditate a little bit, or do a yoga, or do some journaling. Write down your thoughts and reflect on what you experienced today. This will bring you clarity, consciousness, awareness for the things that you like, the things that surprised you, things that you want to change. You just have to imagine your autonomous nervous system consists of two players. It's the sympathicus and it's the parasympathicus. So when you are activated throughout the day and under stress, your sympathicus rises. If we have this all the time above the parasympathicus, we're going to be in disbalance at some point. And then we feel stressed out. We can't concentrate anymore. Maybe we feel tired, overwhelmed. Maybe we find it even difficult to socialize. And that's why we need to spend some time in silence, in stillness, and do some active recovery by doing yoga, meditation, going out for a walk in nature ideally, spending just some time with ourselves and our thoughts. And then we're going to strengthen the parasympathicus, and this will be more in balance again. And we need to do this, we should do this actually on a daily basis. And not only when we have the feeling we are stressed out. Do it every day, and then you won't even get in disbalance. You're going to be much more in balance and stay there over time. And that makes life much easier, to be honest, and much more fun. So which of these tips actually resonates the most with you? And what are you doing actually to make life easier? Maybe you would like to add some ideas for the community here in the comment section below. I'd be super interested to hear what you do to make life easier and more fun. In case you liked the video, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you in one of my next videos. Thank you for watching and see you soon. Bye.